cloud. Awesome. So we're going to get started. Today, we are going to be focusing on what we can do inside of the pipeline and how to make it better for our businesses when we do use the pipeline. And the pipeline I'm talking about is inside of opportunities. And if I go, you know what, let me turn my mouse on. It'll look a little bit, oops, wrong one. It'll be a little bit easier to see. Where's the mouse? Huh, must be hiding. Give me 1 second again. Mouse, here we go, Cursor Pro. Everything is like hiding everything else. Oh, there we go. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to, oh, it is already recording. Good. So I'm going to hide video panel, hide meeting controls. There we go. All right. So I'm going to go into my opportunities and we're going to see the 4 pipelines that are there. So we can see listings, buyers, leases, and, oh, no, turn to 3. It used to be 4. So it's just listings, buyers, and leases. Bring Russ back in. So if we are going to be looking at this properly, you'll see listings and buyers. These are the ones we'll focus on. They each have the same types of phases in their pipeline. So they have a cultivate on each appointment, so on and so forth, all the way through. So what we do in one of them, we can also do in the other one. So I'm going to just be using the listings pipeline. And to get into the phase that we want to use, I just need to click on the icon for it. So I'm going to go back here real quickly. So I'm going to click on this plant icon under cultivate. It's going to bring me into the phase of cultivate. And inside this phase, we have different stages. That's what each of these boxes are, is a different stage. So my get information is stage 1, and it's showing that I have 1 opportunity in here, which is correct, and I have a 5%. So that 5% means that I have a 5% possibility of it being completed all the way up to a closing moment. So from getting information to closing, I have a 5% chance of it working out. And now that I have an opportunity in here and I'm in the get information stage, I can move this opportunity into the next stage of this phase. So the next stage in mine is nurture 1 to 12 months. So I'm going to move from this by clicking and dragging it into the next stage. Your stages will not be named this. They're going to be different because I have changed these already for myself, and I'm going to show you how to change those for yourself as well. Let's say I want to move it from nurture into watch. And if you look above, so let's look at nurture just for a second. Nurture is the name of it. I don't have any opportunities in here anymore. And I have a 7% of a possibility that this will be completed all the way to close. When they moved it into watch, and for some reason I said it's now 5% again, that's incorrect. So we're going to change that. And to change anything in the stages by any of these, in any of these phases, so if it's in the appointment phase, active phase, under contract, or even closed, back to cultivate, we're going to click edit stages. And from here, we'll see that all the stages are in here. So get information for this phase. So for the cultivate phase, I have 4 stages. And I can change these around in position if I want to. So if I want get information to be last for some reason, I can move it to the very last, and that will move the box as well. Or I don't want it last, I want it the very first thing, because that's the first thing you do is I'm gathering information. And let's say I want to change the name of the stage. All I have to do is go over to this pencil button, which is the edit button, and I'm going to change the stage name. So I'm going to change it from get information to information gathering. And the probability of it being completed to close is 5%. I kept calling it a possibility, it's actually a probability. is 5%. So I could change that as well if I wanted to. Maybe it's actually 10% probability. I can click save. And maybe I want to change my stage number 2, which is nurture 1 to 12 months, probability 7%. Here are the checklist items. We're going to come back to that in a second, but I'm just going to go through and edit this. Say I want to make this probability of actually 8%. Well, no, that was 10, so this would be, let's make this 15%. I'm being very, very positive about my probability. Watch 1 to 3 months, we'll change this to 17. And ready to sell in 30 days. We'll say this is a, not 80%, but 25% chance. We'll click save. All right. For the checklist. So a checklist are items that you need to complete for each opportunity that you have in that stage. So I'm going to show you what I mean. In here, so here's my opportunity in my watch stage, and this is where the checklist would be for this opportunity. It doesn't have anything, so I'm going to move it to someplace that does have a checklist. So this stage has 3 items in its checklist that I need to complete for this opportunity. That's sign them up for the newsletter, send a text, and then give them a phone call. I can sign them up for a newsletter, and I can assign a date to this. Same thing with a text and the phone call. I can even add items in here. If I add an item in the list right here, it's only going to be for this opportunity. It won't be for every opportunity that comes into this particular stage. So if I added, let's say add wash the dog to this, because they have a dog and they don't have time to wash their dog. So they're like, hey, can you wash the dog for us, Blake? And I'm like, sure, of course, because I want to sell your multi-million-dollar home. I'll wash your dog. So I'm going to put wash the dog in here. It's going to ask me, do I want to send a client update? And there's a client update from here as well. If you check this for client update, that means when you have it checked and it has been completed, it's going to send an email at the end of the day or at the beginning of the next day that you have completed these tasks so they can follow your progress. We'll put the due date of tomorrow at 1:12 p.m. and then I'll click save. So now they have wash dog. So let's say I have signed them up for the newsletter, sent a text message and a phone call, and I wash their dog. I will click close, and it's going to show me that I have 4 out of 4 items in that checklist completed. Now, if I go back up to edit stages, and here is the checklist that we were just in, the nurture 1 to 2 months, or 1 to 12 months, I click on it, and if I add a new item in here, in this part, it's going to show up in every opportunity that I bring over. So you'll be able to keep track. I know one of our agents here has a very prolific process of checklists that they use. They can put the those checklist items inside of the opportunities or inside of the stages of the pipeline, and they can update their clients through this now. So if I wanted to add another item, let's see, we'll call this, wash house or wash car area. Car wash driveway. We'll just say we'll do that for everybody. Then I'll click save. So now I have 4 items inside of that checklist that will always be there for every opportunity that I have. Okay. So let's say I'm finished with Cultivate. They're beyond the watch 1 to 3 months and they're ready to sell in 30 days. So we are going to make an appointment with them. And we're going to drag that appointment or drag that opportunity up to appointment. And now here it is. And it's under the stage, make an appointment. So we made one and it's been scheduled. So I'll move it into scheduled. And the day of the appointment comes up. So I'm going to move it into kept. But let's say there's one more phase or one more stage I want in here. I want to have a follow-up stage. So I'm going to click Edit Stages, add a stage, and I'll click Follow-up. The probability of this coming through is closer to, we'll say 50%. And then there's checklist, nothing on the checklist yet, so we'll add an item, and then follow up, we'll add an item, thank you card, send listing paperwork, and we'll just say these are the 3, and I'll click Save. So now I have the new stage, follow up, and it's a 50% probability, and I have 3 items in my checklist. And I can edit this or press the trash can to delete them. Let's see, what if I want to follow up here instead? So I just move it by dragging this up and down. Oops. Then it will go out just fine. If I want to see the settings for the client updates, I can click on this cog and it'll take me into the settings. And it's going to ask me, when do I want to send my client updates? Do I want to send them at 10:30 a.m. or p.m.? And I can change the times, a.m. or to p.m. Who do I send it from? So which is the owner of the opportunity? It's usually going to be yourself unless you are part of a team, which would be your team Rainmaker. And who do we send it to? The client and co-client, or just the primary client only? So the client and co-client are whoever you have created inside that opportunity and whoever's linked to it, or just that first contact. And then do you, as the owner, want to receive a copy? And then you can preview what the email template looks like. So this is what the template would look like for the checklist, and it shows them what you've done. And just a nice piece of marketing email there. I go back. So we can see, oh, I didn't save my follow-up stage. Save this. There's my follow-up right there. So I can move it into follow-up. It's 50% of completion, so now I'm going to put it up into active. And it should pop up in staging. This is embarrassing. Oh, wrong one. There it is. I didn't go over far enough. So here is my opportunity. I can move it from pre-staging into staging, then into showing. And like I said, these titles will be different because I have changed them, and you can change them as well. I could put it into offer, but let's see. If I put it into legacy, that just means it's been imported from someplace else. It doesn't need to be in legacy. I'm just going to move this right into under contract. Click under contract. Here it is, from escrow into inspections, into appraisals, financing, and then clear to close, our favorite. Yay, money's coming. And then I would move it into closed. Then it's going to ask for the closing date. I'm not going to confirm this because I don't want to screw up the numbers. So it's just going back into Cultivate. And that is really all there is to the pipeline inside of Command. It's very easy to use, and it's going to keep your business on track. And it automatically updates your customers or clients to what you are doing as long as you're checking those off inside of the opportunity. And that'll tell your clients what's going on, and you'll be good to go. All right. Jan, do you have any questions for me? All right, great. So that is it. And I invite everyone to join me again when we go over something else in the tech world inside of Command. And I hope everyone has a great day. Talk to you later. Bye.